Hello and welcome to On Public Square, a City of Clarksville podcast where we get to know the amazing city employees that help keep the lights on. They're our friends, our family, our neighbors, and each of them has a story to tell. Now, let's say hello. Hello and welcome to On Public Square. This week we're going to be talking to a couple members of our Mayor's Youth Council about that incredible program and what it is, what it can do for you, and how to apply as applications are about to open up. So I have here with me Gabriana and Adam, our two elected officers for this year's Mayor's Youth Council. Hello, y'all. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing very well. I like to always start with introductions. Normally it would be, who are you? How long have you worked for the city and what's your job title? But instead, just tell me what school you go to, what year, and just whatever you want to share about yourselves. Why don't we start with Gabriana?
Gabriana, I'm the vice chairman of this program. I go to middle college at APSU. I was from Kenwood, but I transferred there. That's about me.
Very cool. I had a lot of friends do middle college. I'm not super familiar with the program. I actually taught in the building where it's held, if it's still the one behind Harnett Hall.
No, we got moved to an elementary school. Like, we're so far now.
That's right. Yeah, I taught when I was in my master's program. I TA'd in that building that it used to be in. Perfect. Adam?
My name's Adam Stover. I'm the chairman of the Mayor's Youth Council, and I'm from Northwest High School.
Northwest?
Northwest,
same as the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's always talking about Northwest High School.
Like,
yes, go Vikings. I'm a Montgomery Central kid, so a little ways out south of the river, but I'll take it. But cool. So this is both of your second years with NYC, right?
Yes.
And you're allowed to do two, correct? Perfect. I guess instead of me asking you about NYC right now, what is Mayor's Youth Council?
So Mayor's Youth Council is obviously the city of Clarksville's Mayor's Youth Council, and it's just to drive young people to work with their community. That's the common purpose for all of it. The mayor wants a bunch of educated young folk to try to drive a force into the community, people who are educated in what happens in the government and local facilities, and just have someone who can share the perspective through the youth.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm correct, that kind of works. There's about how many members now?
Currently, we have about 50.
About 50, so a pretty big program. And if I'm right, we have our beginning ceremony. I usually end up taking photos for it. We'll get headshots and all that, set up the website. Then they separate you all out into pods with different areas of focus. Am I correct?
Yes.
What are the pods?
We have education, public health, public safety, and then
environment and civic engagement.
Mm-hmm. And we have a communications officer as well. He couldn't be here today.
Yes.
But what's his name again?
Ian.
So Ian, sorry you couldn't make it today, but we did want to shout you out. And you three make up the entire officers program. We held elections last year at the farewell party for our exiting members, which I believe we held at Strawberry Alley. That was a good night. That was a lot of fun.
It should be being held there again this year, from what I heard.
Perfect. I guess to start off, why did you two sign up?
I was a STEM person back in Kenwood, and I realized I didn't like it. I was like, oh, never mind. And then I was looking into different other areas of careers that I would like to go to. And then a lot of advertisement for Mayor's Youth Council. There was Mayor's Emerging Leaders, Teen Advice, like programs for students to be active in their communities. And I thought maybe I could try something like that. Maybe I'd like, try public service. Mm-hmm. And I do really like it, and that's why I started, and that's why I stayed.
Good. What do you like about it?
I don't know. I like getting to know the people here. Mm. I wasn't from here, and I think, getting to know the people around you, you get to like the place more.
I agree. That's why I like working in communications. Mm-hmm. I came from being a reporter, and one of my favorite things is just telling people stories and realizing that everybody has a story to tell. And I love that. Very good. What about you, Adam?
I joined because I wanted to stay busy. I truthfully I was looking for stuff to join just to keep me moving.
Not a sit around kind of guy.
No, I don't like to just sit in my house and be bored all day. So I was like, what can I sign up for? I was the only one from Northwest during my first year.
Really? That's interesting. I would think you'd get all sorts of people applying for.
I was surprised not. The only advertising we had was a singular poster on the wall, and I was the lucky one to read that poster and sign up.
Well, we're going to work on that. We're going to wear it out with advertising this year. That sounds kind of like me, though, with they do the essay contest at CEMC. Do you know what I'm talking about? The White House Youth Tour?
Yes.
Yeah, I went on that when I was in high school, and I think there were only like 2 or 3 of us at Montgomery Central that wrote essays, which, don't get me wrong, I'll take the free trip to DC, but students, if you're listening to this, take advantage of these opportunities. Sometimes just signing up is the first step, and it may not be as hard to get in as you think it is. But that's wonderful. That being said, there are some requirements. I know this is later in what we were going to talk about, but I think it kind of goes right here. There are some requirements to join. What are those?
You need to have a point average of 2.75 based on the 4.0 system, and then you also have to complete, obviously, the application, which you have to obtain 2 references, one being from a teacher, guidance counselor, or principal, and then the other one can just be from someone not related to you who just knows the type of person that you are. It could be from, like, the person who sees you at work. You could have your work friend do it for you.
Manager.
Yeah. Your manager do it for you. Plenty of people have just gotten the people they work with to do it for them.
Wonderful. Yeah, I was just pulling some of this up myself. Awesome. And what are some of the time requirements? How often do you all get together? What do you do when you get together?
We meet once a month. The dates are usually decided shortly after the previous meeting, and we make sure to release them weeks prior to actually meeting again. And then we also give heads up, obviously, before the actual meeting.
Sure.
And then within that meeting, the time ranges from an hour to sometimes an hour and a half. And unless it's like, obviously, the first meeting where it might be 2 hours because we're doing the giant ceremonies, having all the food, those are the only really long ones. The rest, usually just an hour, hour and a half. A lot of the times we'll go to like the fire department, we'll get tours of their facilities, we'll go to the police, and we'll get tours of last year we saw their SWAT, this year we saw their forensics, just getting to know the place.
What's been your favorite of those, of getting to like go places or talk with city officials? I know I helped Lisa Canfield, our city clerk, set up to present last year one time. What's been your favorite of those?
It wasn't a tour, but it kind of pertains to this, but we attended it was like an actual like council meeting. It was like about the project of the roads and stuff like that. Really cool. And it was cool to like hear about it. And then like I lived in the part where they were actually started to do the renovations of what they were talking about. So it was like cool to, I don't know, like hear the process of it and then actually see it happening.
Very cool. What about you, Adam?
Mine is going to be a lot worse than that. We're just the SWAT team. I love to see the big vehicles, scary engines, and hearing the bombs go off, then blowing open doors and seeing them do the house.
Hey,
awesome.
That's cool. That's cool stuff. That's really neat. Getting to participate in those kind of things is something that I wish more of our students would take advantage of, because it's so cool to be able to get firsthand experience so early and get ideas. Like you said, Gabriana, about maybe not quite knowing what you want to do later on in life, but having an idea. Super note, not too late to change, and this is a good way to get out and experience different things. So I love that. I meant to ask, Gabriana said she has taken a shine to public service and such, and this type of work. What about you, Adam? Is this something you see yourself doing moving forward?
Currently I'm in the process of going into West Point.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Have you been accepted already?
I'm currently being boarded. I got the email yesterday that they're putting me up for board.
Well, wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any future plans on your end, Gabriana?
Yeah, I'm planning to major in political science in Barnard College.
Wow. That's awesome. Wonderful. I know we have, I remember seeing all the different colleges that Mayor's Youth Council folks were going to last year, and it was a huge list and wonderful. And not just going to colleges, but going into professional programs, internships, military, all sorts of good stuff. West Point, that's super impressive. So is Bernard. Great schools. benefits of being part of the program, we've kind of already talked about that. Of course, it is nice to have those extra letters of recommendation, get Mayor Joe Pitts to put in a good word for you going into college and such. And of course, it just looks good on a resume. Some of the projects, this is something that I like to talk about, and something I'm always really impressed with from y'all, is the public service projects that Mayor's Youth Council does. Last year, I know we worked on a mental health promotional video and did some work with that. Tell me about the importance, I guess. Tell me about blah, 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 blah. Tell me a little bit about the public service projects, why they're important, and maybe some of the ones y'all have been involved in.
To me, since everyone is split into pods, the whole purpose of Mayor's Youth Council is public service, but I think the pod aspect of it kind of groups students to, their specific passions. We have, the STEM students could go to the health pods and stuff like that. So the projects that they've done, I don't know, it's just reflective of, what do you call this? Their kind of passions, I guess, for their community. For example, the health pod, they had a tent in Fred and Franklin, and they were handing out health bars that they got from, what do you call that? Mana Cafe.
Very cool.
Yeah, so
that's great. I love that. Do we know what we're doing this year?
Oh, our legacy project. Do you want to talk about that?
I'll let you go over it because you probably know a lot more about it than I do. I just helped with the vote. We're doing this. Oh my gosh, how do I put it? We're giving out these almost infographic and supply kits for self-care. We want to give out self-care kits.
Wonderful. So what's in a self-care kit?
At our last meeting, we decided about a bunch of stuff. People were putting in, I believe we have face masks, and then we have just regular hygiene items. And then there's just a wide variety. We just want people to be able to take care of themselves. And we decided that the best way to do that was just a self-care kit.
Especially nowadays with public health being on everyone's mind and just general public, both physical and mental well-being being on people's mind. I think that's a really great project. How will those be distributed?
We're going over that with Erica currently on how we're going to, for one, gather all the supplies, make sure that every box is even, and then we're also going to go over how we can dish those out of the community. Erica
being an employee with Parks and Recreation, and I believe program director is her title, but she's a big part of setting things up with Mayor's Youth Council and helping organize things. So big shout out to Erica. She couldn't be here today, but I want to make sure we give her some credit for the incredible work she does. I'm hoping we can get her on later this year for this season of the podcast to do a summer fun guide. She's involved with all of the activities that Parks and Rec does. Moving forward, as far as projects go, Adam, you're also part of the Restoring Clarksville initiative. How'd you get involved in that?
I got involved in that because they wanted youth leadership to have an opinion within such a big project. They wanted someone who could help represent the youth and someone who could bring in those types of opinions. So the mayor was like, we have a council. We can take the chairman of that, since we can't bring in 12 people from this pod. We can at least take the chairman of that and bring that person in, have them sit in on the meetings to bring in opinions.
Wonderful. And I applaud both of you for getting involved with your community at a young age and getting started with that. Committees are such an important part of what the city of Clarksville does, and there's always a need for people to sit on boards and committees. So I appreciate and thank you for being part of that. We just did an episode on Restoring Clarksville. I had Justin Crosby and Councilman McLaughlin up, and we talked about all that. Talked about the couple buildings that came down recently on Fort Campbell Boulevard and some of the projects that are moving forward. Just to hammer this in further, Restoring Clarksville initiative is a big thing going on right now. And if you see a need in your neighborhood and community, report it on See, Click, Fix, and we'll be happy to get someone taking a look at it here at the city of Clarksville. It's a really great program that's going to be doing a lot of great things. Back to Mayor's Youth Council. One of the main reasons we wanted to do this episode was to talk about the application period being open, and it's going to be open starting April 1st, if I'm correct, right?
That should be correct.
And moving until... Hey, Erica's here. Erica, come join us.
Yes, Erica.
Erica Clark, everybody. I was trying to remember your job title. Is it program director?
So I am the recreation superintendent.
Recreation superintendent. Thank you for that. My apologies.
No worries.
There's so many working in communications and being involved with every single department.
Right.
I don't always remember everyone's job titles exactly, but wonderful. And you kind of help steer the ship with NYC and provide the students with the resources and the information they need.
Correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about how Mayor's Youth Council got started?
That was way before my time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Was this something Mayor Pitts started, or does it predate his
It
time as
predates to Mayor McMillan.
Mayor McMillan?
Mhm.
Okay. I know it's been something that's been very important to
Right.
Mayor Pitts.
Right.
Though. Wonderful. You've seen a lot of students come and go from this. Can you talk about how this is beneficial to students from your perspective?
I think this gives students a chance to lead and have their own voice and have their own impact on the community. So they achieve that through service projects. They have their own pod meetings on things that they're passionate about, such as public health or education. And from that, they connect with the other leaders in the community to come up with their projects or to come up with ways to serve the community. So in that aspect, it is great for them, especially as juniors and seniors, and they're looking for something in the college application process to set them apart. This is something that's great that they could put on their resume.
Oh, and that's a requirement we forgot to mention, along with the GPA and the letters of recommendation. This is a program for juniors and seniors in high school. Homeschool? And can homeschoolers apply?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
I assumed so, but let's just make sure we clarify. Homeschoolers, please apply as well. Wonderful. I guess knowing that both of you have been involved with public service now, locally and hopefully in the future, what are some particular points of interest? You mentioned that a lot of what NYC gets to do, Gabriana, is it lets you follow your passions and find the things you're passionate about. Beyond just public service in general, is there anything specific that you've found a passion for, whether that be health and safety or it be infrastructure or a particular issue that you've come to care a lot about? Is there anything like that?
Sorry, there's like so much, right? Like we were talking about, like, I say like a lot. We're talking about the road in the 2020 plus road.
The Transportation 2020 Plus?
Yes. And I don't know. And back in my junior year, I was using public transportation, the buses that we have, and I don't know. I've come to be passionate about just like transportation for some reason. The idea of like bettering transportation for people. Like most people don't think that no one uses them anymore, but I did, and a lot of people did. And you know, I know the conditions, and I know like the troubles of using them, and you know, specific things like that of experiencing something and then kind of.
I love to travel and go to different cities, especially in the U.S. It's really cool to see how different cities handle their public transit and think about that compared to us. And we do a lot of things really well. Our CTS, our transit system department, is phenomenal. Michael Ringenberg over there leads a fantastic ship. But it's always cool to see the little things that other places do different and maybe ways to make our transit system even better. And I know they're working on some things that I think are going to be really cool in the near future. No, transportation is a great thing to be passionate about. I agree. It's probably one of the most important things we do. We got to make sure it's safe for people to get from A to B. So that's awesome. What about you, Adam?
My main passion and why I got involved in NYC was just because I wanted to help lead people. I was always being put in roles about it, and I saw a chance through NYC where I could kind of take that stand and see if it's what I enjoyed.
Now you're going to take that to West Point and do some incredible things. Are you looking towards a military career? Or
Yes.
Wonderful. Branch?
Army.
At West Point. I should know that. Wonderful. Awesome. That's about all I had. We're going to keep this episode sort of on the shorter end. Thank you for attending, for coming by and talking with me for a little bit. Erica, do you have anything you want to add?
No, just a reminder that the application period starts on April the 1st. get your 2 points of reference in, and complete your application. We're looking for students from all schools. We'd like for all the schools in the city to be represented, and to come make an impact on the community. This current council for this school year has been phenomenal in their projects that they've done and volunteering. They did a food drive, which during Thanksgiving time, we were able to have 7+ tables set up of food where people were able to come in and shop at a food pantry.
Wow.
So just things like that, they've been great at. And I think they've really left their mark on the community. And now we look forward for the next group to come in and pick up where they left off.
Wonderful. And I will ask one more question. Gabriana and Adam, can each of you, do you have a message you'd like to share with potential and future members of the Mayor's Youth Council?
For me, what you get out of it is what you put into it. You have so much resources. You have Miss Erica, literally, she'll connect you with anyone if there's a project that you want to do. So just don't be, just do what you can and they'll help you out.
Perfect. Adam?
The piece of advice I would have to give is just always push for what you want. If you want to go be in a position, try to stand out, make yourself be known. You're never going to be able to achieve something if you don't put yourself out there, because nobody will know and nobody will know what you want to do. So always try to step out, try to be the different person, and try to show yourself.
Fantastic advice. I can't wait to look back at this episode in 5 or 6 years and see what you all have accomplished in just that short amount of time. Having come from a teaching background, I substitute taught for Clarksville Montgomery County school system. I still teach at college. I think education is one of the most important things we do, whether it's here working with the Mayor's Youth Council and to our teachers. So I'm just always really excited to see students doing cool things. And congratulations on West Point and on Barnard. I still can't say the name of that school right. Congratulations on being accepted into continuing education programs and moving forward. And I can't wait to see what you accomplish.
Thank you.
And we'll talk about that next time on Public Square.